notice everyone that the questions get a little shorter now, and so you guys will have your opportunity to short answers after you short. Next, we're going to move on to, everybody hear me okay still? Okay, on to healthcare. And we're going to start this question off with Rick Bird, and the question is, it's a two-part question. Kind of just right, I'm not messing around here, so to speak. Do you support increased government involvement in healthcare or a mandated national healthcare program, keywords here, of any kind, presented by either Democrats or Republicans? That would be Omnicare or Obamacare. How would you, and then the second part of the question would be, how would you correct the current challenges in healthcare for the average citizen and practitioner versus the challenges faced by the corporations or lobbying groups on how to divide up the legislative revenue to get in the end?
I'm going to stand up. I need a stretch here. The answer to the first question is no, I wouldn't support that. In fact, this is the reason I'm in this race, one of the big reasons, because my wife is a family practice doctor, and when she saw what Earl Pomeroy voted for, she said, it's going to put government right between me and my patient, and it's going to end my career. The idea that we're going to tax everyone for something they don't want, I think takes away some of our rights. And I think the bigger issue here that I'm concerned about is, quite frankly, when we have the majority of people in a national health care system, I think you lose some of your liberties. I think people start becoming dependent on government. And again, if anyone can show me any government program that's similar to the private sector, and the government program's doing better than the private sector, I'd like to know about it. It's simply not working. Now, having said that, we've got things that we need to change in healthcare. There's no question about it. But I think the number one issue is cost. And what we need to do is focus on changes in the system that provide better outcomes, more efficient outcomes at a lower cost. I've supported tort reform in the legislature 15 years ago in North Dakota. I think we need to ensure that the money is not going to bureaucracy, not going to fees, but the money's going to patient care. I think transparency is important. I think competition is important. If you look at where it's been successful, and Newt Gingrich has a wonderful initiative that he's been working on, which simply posts statewide where the best outcomes are for the best surgeries, post the cost, post the time of recovery. And so again, there's a lot we can do, but the answers that are being proposed in Washington right now are not the answers. And I would work to obviously kill them or repeal them if elected this fall.
Can you request 2 minutes for each half of that question? Tom, would that be okay?
I guess I didn't realize some of them were so fast. But you can have a minute to answer the first part, a minute the second part. Mr. Kramer?
Yeah. You should work for the IRS. Of course, I don't support increased involvement by the federal government in healthcare any more than an increased involvement in hardly, pretty much everything. I think we're pretty unified on that. Rick is exactly right. What we need to attack is the cost side. It is not an accident that the two areas of healthcare that have actually gone down in cost are elective surgeries like LASIK and then plastic surgery, because insurance doesn't pay for it. You pay for it if you want it. So what do? You shop for the best deal. And what do the providers do? They try to offer the best deal. Competition still does work in America. Free enterprise really can be applied, and the market forces that apply to everything else can be applied to healthcare. If we first of all have price transparency. I support a health savings accounts, tax-free health savings accounts that allow you to save more of your own money tax-free, and then buy a low-cost, high-deductible insurance that'll cover catastrophic care, but then you shop for the more basic things with that savings money. And guess what you're going to do? You're going to get in shape, you're going to watch what you eat, you're going to make different life choices, or not, but it's up to you. And then when you go to the doctor, you're going to look for the best deal. And you may not even go to the doctor quite as much, you may not get redundant services, you may not get some tests that you may not need, because guess what? We also have to have malpractice reform, cap lawyers' fees, cap punitive damages, so that that doctor doesn't have to charge you for exorbitant coverage of a litigious society. So there are lots of things we can do to attack the cost side. We have the best access, best quality. We do a great job in North Dakota, by the way, taking care of people, and we can do all of this without more government intrusion, but rather just the opposite, with less.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, I have proposed the National Health Care Act. There's absolutely no way I can explain it in just a minute or two, but I'm sure we'll get more time to talk about it. As far as the Obamacare plan, first of all, it's unconstitutional. It's going to force people to buy health insurance. Secondly, the whole concept is just absolutely askew. I don't know how you think you're going to sell a plan where you tax somebody for 4 years before they get one benefit. And I don't appreciate the rhetoric out of the far left up there that I've been hearing about how this is such an emergency. People have to have this health care right now. So we're going to tax you for the next 4 years, and then 4 years from now give them a benefit. I thought there was an emergency that they had to have the benefits now. I'm just as unexcited about the Republican proposal. Portability in insurance is not going to guarantee a better price for your insurance, and it's certainly not going to guarantee a better policy. You know, if you look at your insurance card, you're in a PPO network of some kind. If you buy a policy in Arkansas, that doesn't guarantee that you're going to be able to go to a doctor that's in that network in Arkansas here in North Dakota. There might only be 3 or 4 doctors in the entire state of North Dakota that would be in that PPO network. Expanding the risk pool means more taxpayer dollars. That's subsidized. The only way you can get a risk pool is to have it subsidized. That's more taxpayer dollars. The other plan to expand health insurance across state lines and portability, and have you noticed that everything they're trying to do up there is expand insurance into our lives? At least the Republicans are honest about we want to expand insurance. The Democrats have an even better proposition. They're up there railing against how horrible health insurance companies are. They're so bad we want 30 million more people to have it. I just don't understand the logic from the left sometimes. But I would like to talk about the National Health Care Act